To the east and south of the Carpathian Mountains, in the region around Buzău, the Cumans had made their home. As the papacy pushed its influence eastward, it sought to convert the Cumans to Catholicism, establishing a bishopric specifically for them. On paper, the mission seemed poised for success, but there was one major problem. The land wasn't empty, despite claims from Hungarian sources that their own ancestors had settled uninhabited lands in Transylvania. The reality here was different. The Cumans had settled among existing populations, locals who had been Orthodox Christians for over 1,200 years. And that made things complicated. The issue wasn't just historical precedent, it was numbers. The Orthodox Christian population was so large that the newly created Catholic bishopric was largely symbolic. It existed more in official records, on parchment, than in the lived reality of the region. What's the evidence? When Hungarians and Saxons crossed the mountains from Transylvania, they didn't adopt Cuman customs or Catholicism. Instead, they assimilated into the local Romanian culture and embraced Orthodoxy, a clear sign of which identity held sway in these lands. Alarmed by the growing influence of Orthodoxy in the East, Pope Gregory IX took action. On November 14, 1234, from Perugia, he sent a letter to Bela, the son and co-ruler of King Andrew II of Hungary, urging him to bring the Valati Romanians of Cumania under the authority of the Catholic Church. The Pope's concern was clear. Not only were the Valati resisting Roman authority and following the Orthodox rite, the rite of the Greeks, but they were also influencing others. Hungarians and Saxons crossing into these lands were no longer holding on to their Catholic faith. Instead, they were integrating with the Valati, becoming one people and adopting their Orthodox traditions. In the letter, Pope Gregory writes, "Gregory, Bishop, to our beloved Son in Christ, King Bela, firstborn of the King of Hungary, greetings. We have learned that in the bishopric of the Cumans there dwelt certain people called Valati, who, although they bear the name of Christians, by embracing diverse rites and customs within one faith, commit deeds contrary to that name. For, disregarding the Roman Church, they receive all ecclesiastical sacraments not from our venerable brother, the Bishop of the Cumans, the rightful diocesan of that region, but from certain pseudo-bishops who follow the rite of the Greeks, that is, the Orthodox rite. Moreover, some, both Hungarians and Teutons, along with other faithful from the Kingdom of Hungary, have joined them to settle there, and so, forming one people with the said Valati, they reject the authority of the Cuman bishop and receive the aforementioned sacraments, much to the indignation of the faithful and the great detriment of the Christian faith." The popes knew very well who the Valati were. Just 3.5 decades earlier, in December 1199, Pope Innocent III had tried to win over Ioniță Asen, known as Ioniță Caloian, by enticing him to embrace Catholicism. And how did he do it? By appealing to his supposed Roman heritage. Innocent the bishop to the nobleman Ioniță, "We have heard that your ancestors trace their origin to the noble lineage of the city of Rome, and that you have inherited from them both the nobility of blood and the pure devotion to the apostolic see, as if by sacred tradition. We have long wished to visit you, as we have expressed through letters and envoys." But the attempt, despite its courteous tone, ultimately failed. Now facing the Valati of Cumania, the papal tone had shifted. Gone was the flattery. In its place, a firm, even threatening stance. The term Valati, found in Western sources, is another form recognized by linguists to designate the Vlachs, the people known today as Romanians.